What's the best loophole that you've ever found? I coach a high school team. We recently bought airfare with Spirit Airlines to take 9 students to a competition. 2 of the students cancelled about a month out from the trip, and we had to replace them with 2 different students. Spirit Airlines policy, no name changes. Can't even pay a fee to change the name. The tickets are basically lost. I have to buy new tickets. Spirit's customer service is overseas, and they plainly don't care at all about customer service, because they don't actually work for Spirit, etc., etc. Except that Spirit Airlines does allow passengers to correct misspellings, and these folks don't really recognize nonsense names. So over 4 calls, I changed the names of the cancelled students to the names of the new students, 2 letters at a time. No one at Spirit customer service made a note, because who would care? And no one ever notices that the correct names during the intermediate steps were nonsense. Also, F Spirit Airlines. Some new magazine was asking college students to send out subscription forms by email to all their friends. For each 25 emails you sent, you'd get a $10 Amazon gift card. Turns out they didn't need to be real emails. I made about $100 before they told me to stop. At my university, there was a command which you could use on their Unix systems to get a list of all the email addresses in the university, which is why I guess my university email was always spammed. I wasn't hacking, they just didn't set up user permissions properly. My justification as to why it's not hacking is that we had authorization to log into the system with our own user accounts, and the command we used is a thoroughly documented, supported operating system command used with its intended purpose. We also did tell the admins because we were sick of our email being spammed too. There's really no difference between performing whatever command it was, I forget now, and is, cd, touch, ifconfig and so on and so forth. Bonus shady loophole though, on my CS assignments the professors would use the Unix timestamps as submission times, and if I noticed I made a mistake on my homework, I could set the timestamp on my homework assignments using the touch command. In 1st grade, our school had Catch a Kid cards. Every time you did something good, you'd get one. Whoever had the most at the end of the year won a prize. My teacher, to promote animal awareness or some crap, gave us 1 card for each newspaper story we brought in that had something to do with animals. So instead of being a good kid and doing good deeds, I just combed through the newspaper each day and hoarded cards through animal stories. Eventually she was like, "Alright, for frick's sake, you're only getting half a card for each story." And I was like, "Miss Fives, I do not give a frick," and continued bringing in the stories. I destroyed all the competition and won the grand prize of a $50 Toys R Us gift card, which, when converted from 6-year-old dollars into US dollars, is about $24,500. Yes, that sounds like something the young narrator would have done as well. I think $50 when I was a kid would have purchased enough cheap plastic knickknacks to fill an entire closet and make all of my friends jealous. Best Buy had double trade-in value on games several times. Craigslist people want cash instead of store credit, but used games for $20 get $25 in trade-in, which doubles to our $50 store credit. I ended up with about $1,200 in store credit, which cost me maybe $400. My old bank used to give me $2 reimbursement any time I used another bank's ATM to cover the fee. There was a local bank ATM that charged a $1.50 fee, so I would make 50 cents 3 times a month. I assume they had a max on this, or I'd just sit at the ATM all day. Assuming 30 seconds per transaction, you're making $60 an hour running the ATM. I could only do it 3 times per month. So what are you doing now that you have all that extra scratch? How many islands do you own? Years ago, I signed up for the Columbia House DVD of the month when I was 16. Most of you probably don't know about this, but it was a deal where you get a dozen DVDs for free and then had to buy one a month for $15. If you didn't order a movie that month, they would send you one that was their selection of the month. Anyway, when I got all the free movies, I wrote them a letter stating I wasn't 18 and they cancelled my subscription and let me keep the movies for free. Also, back then you could just sign up with a fake name. It was a simpler time. I would sign up for those CD clubs and get the initial shipment with the commitment to buy more and an auto-shipped selection of the month. You could return a form to refuse the selection, or they would send it to you automatically. Inside the auto-ship package would be a couple of coupons for 2 more free CDs. I'd get the auto-ship package, open it, take the coupons, and then glue the package closed and mark it Return to Sender. Ended up scoring a couple dozen more free CDs that way before they stopped auto-shipping me the monthly selection. Back when I was much younger, maybe around 8 or 9, my stepfather, notorious spicy food connoisseur, dared me to eat a chili pepper. After I refused, he told me that if I could eat the whole thing, he'd buy me an Xbox. He hadn't said anything about chewing, so I cut the pepper into 3 and swallowed them whole with some milk. Always to keep his word, he bought me an Xbox the following day. My stepdad doesn't play video games and has admitted he wouldn't think to do it, which is why he made that deal in the first place. I work at McDonald's. The first thing that comes to mind is the one time when a guy ordered a 50-cent cone in a cup and Oreo crumbs on the side. He mixed it together right there at the counter and made a cheap version of a McFlurry, which is $2.50. I'll throw in another story for good measure. A lady wanted a McChicken meal, McChicken sandwich, medium fries, medium drink, but wanted all the contents ordered separately. On the screen there's a meal button that groups everything together. Ordering everything separately made it like $1 cheaper. If you do your own brake job, you can buy brakes from AutoZone that include a warranty. This warranty just so happens to cover normal wear and tear. Every time you need new brakes, bring in the worn-out ones and you get a new set for free. Seriously amazing. When Verizon changed their unlimited plan, we got to keep ours due to being grandfathered in. Basically, as long as we kept our phones, we kept the plan. But once we upgraded, we would have to switch plans. My family has 4 phones, 3 smartphones and my little brother's dumb phone with no data. After we went to upgrade, we asked the Verizon rep if there was a way we could keep unlimited. After some experimenting with the system, we found a way. She moved my data package to my brother's phone since he didn't have any data, upgraded my phone, then moved the data package back. Same for my parents' phones. So we got to keep the unlimited and we still got our upgrade. Screw you Verizon, but major props to your employees. I also have Verizon. However, I think they blocked this loophole. However, you can get new old phones or used ones and swap out the SIM card. I've done this twice. I earn double points on my credit card through gas and grocery purchases. So when I plan to buy something, say at Lowe's or go out to eat, I go to the grocery store and buy a gift card. Double points for the gift card and at least double fuel points through the grocery store. There was a McDonald's near my college and in it was an ATM. If you used the ATM and got a receipt, it would come with a coupon for a buy one, get one free large sandwich. I'd swipe my card, hit cancel, and a receipt would print out showing the cancellation. I would then find someone in line buying a large sandwich and hand it over to them. Free sandwiches for about 8 months until it finally went away. I don't eat at McDonald's anymore. Watched a guy do this over the course of about 1.5 years when I worked for a credit card company. The guy was getting a divorce but wanted to hide some of the money from his soon-to-be ex-wife. So he overpaid his credit card by $80,000. He then called us to issue a check for the money, so on his statements it would reflect a zero balance. But he would never cash the check, so it would come back on our books. Every 6 months, the balance would return and he would call to have a new check issued so it looked like an accounting error. From what I understood, the lawyer only reviewed a couple of months' worth of credit card statements, and he timed the issuance of the check just right so no one was the wiser. He called and spoke to a guy on my team and told him the whole story, and then we issued the check for the last time and never heard from him again. I used to work as a teller for a credit union. Guy would do the same thing. We would cut cashier checks out to a neutral account, so he just took all of his money as cashier checks payable to himself. Came in on the 6 months mark to recut the checks. Hid so much money from his wife. When I first got an iPhone, I brought an insurance package that I thought covered just about anything. After about a month of having my new iPhone, I got a really bad scratch on the screen. The scratch haunted me and would constantly imagine a nice fresh screen again, so I went to the insurance company and asked them to replace it. The insurance rep told me my coverage is limited to more severe damage like cracks and water damage, not scratches. So naturally, I went into the parking lot and tanked my phone against the pavement, completely obliterating the screen. I walked back into the same insurance rep, acted like I wasn't there 5 minutes ago, and explained that my phone was severely damaged and I wanted a replacement. In 4 days, I had a nice smooth iPhone free of charge, this time with a screen protector. Not my find, but my mother's. Back in the day, when a woman needed her husband's permission to get a loan or sign up for a credit card, my mother used to take advantage of the "sign up for our store credit today and get X gift for free." She would fill out the form completely, but since my father refused to sign the permission section, because he thought it was stupid that she would need permission from her husband in the first place, the credit card company would throw out her application, so she would get the free gift either way. She must have done this a dozen or more times. Yes, game the patriarchy, madam. Game it for all it's worth. Oh, and the credit card companies as well, I suppose. Double win. Not my loophole, but whatever. The American government wanted, and still wants, people to use $1 coins instead of notes. So they started selling $1 coins for $1. People used their credit cards to buy $100,000 worth of coins and then immediately deposited them all into their bank, taking them out of circulation again, to pay off their credit card and then reap the rewards from the credit card usage, usually in the realms of frequent flyer miles. People were accumulating millions of dollars worth of airline travel for free. You're forgetting an important part of the loophole: free shipping. In order to encourage wider distribution of the coins, the US Mint offered free shipping on orders of coins. So basically, order coins from the US Mint with a rewards credit card, then have them shipped for free to you, then take them to the bank immediately upon receiving them. No cost to you, and you rack up the points. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out easymode, also linked below, and subscribe. Oh, I have a good one. I'd saved up a crap load of coins and I needed to get them counted. I went to a bank that I knew had a coin counter, mine didn't, and asked the staff if I could use it if I belonged to another bank. She said sure, so I did. It was about $800+ when all was counted. I took my slip to the counter and she asked if I had an account with them. I explained I didn't, but the lady at the front said I could use it. She comes over, B-word, and says she didn't realize I didn't have an account here. What the frick? I would need to pay 20% of all my coins total. I was fuming for about 5 seconds, then I turned to the teller and said, "I'd like to open an account, please." She was teed off, but she sent me to the other section to open an account. I deposited the money into my account, waited until I got my card, withdrew it, and went in and closed the account. It was a lengthy workaround, but it worked. 20%? Oh my god, I would have done that too. What a load of crap. Always wanted to tell people about this or write into Nintendo Power, and I never had the chance. This goes back to the days of Game Boy. I learned one day while playing Final Fantasy Adventure that you could max out your levels through a simple trick. 1. When one of your characters would gain a new level, do not move from your existing position and immediately save the game. 2. Then press B, A, Start, Select, which would cause the Game Boy to reset. 3. Load up the game where you saved and you will immediately get attacked by the same monster that you leveled up from last time. Upon killing him, the same character who got leveled up previously will level up again. Rinse, repeat. It's old and no one cares, but I feel like I finally got to spread the word on this one, and I can die happy. Winn-Dixie had Skittles buy one get one free. At the register, when you scanned a pack of sour Skittles, a manufacturer's coupon for a free bag of Skittles would come out of the register. So as long as they were separate transactions, you could use the cup from the previous transaction on the current one, so on and so forth. I bought a whole case of both, paying 12 cents for tax for each transaction. Most hotels will charge you if you cancel a booking within 48 hours of your scheduled stay. You can reschedule your booking for free though and move it outside of the 48-hour block and then cancel for free. This year, I have casually found a vending machine near my house that has a little bug. If I insert my money and repeatedly press the button for a Fanta, the machine gives me 2 Fanta instead of 1. Now I always go for that vending machine. It wasn't a loophole, but once at the airport I wanted some soda at the vending machine. I inserted the money and I didn't get 1 soda, I got 4. Like seriously, I was literally screaming to my friends, "I got 4 of these!" In the airport. I never won any lottery or whatever. Vending machines often don't want to give me the food I just bought. But that day, I was victorious. I'd beaten the machine. And now I have the image in my head of you chugging all of them next to an impatient TSA agent because he wouldn't let you bring them on the plane. My high school advanced algebra teacher had a system where you could retake an exam if you failed. Part of this was if you were to tutor someone who failed, and then subsequently passed because of your help, you'd get half of their improvement added to your score. So the smartest girl in the class and I took turns getting zeros on exams and then tutoring each other. When I was in elementary school, I took part in a paper airplane contest in which whoever's paper airplane flew the furthest won. We had unlimited pieces of paper at our disposal and about 10 minutes to craft our planes. I noticed some other kids had airplanes that flew quite a bit further than mine, but still not very far. So I basically crunched all of my failed planes into a dense paper ball and just chucked it. It went almost 4 times as far as my nearest competitor. We had the same project for a public administration class in college. The project was more about the other stuff that went along with it than the competition, but you got a big boost for winning it. There was no restriction on what materials could be used, just on the cost of the plane. We just wrapped paper around a baseball and had the college's starting pitcher, who was on our team, toss it. We got the credit, but so did second place, and my friend who took the class the following year said they had a lot more restrictions on their project. When our whole Algebra 2 class figured out how grading on a curve works and statistically used it to our advantage, average grade in our finals was a 52%, so the whole class passed without really even trying on it. Went to Walmart to buy a shotgun which required proof of residency, and my driver's license had a P.O. box, so they wouldn't accept it. I asked what documents could be used as a proof of residency. Turns out a fishing license counts. Does Walmart sell fishing licenses at the same sporting goods desk? Yes, they do. Document needed to get a fishing license? A driver's license. A Walmart sporting goods associate filled out the paperwork for my fishing license, for which I provided my physical address and then handed it over to me. I handed it back and said, "Now, I'd like to purchase that shotgun." The look on their face was priceless, but a few minutes later I walked out with it. Got a similar FU story from Disney World. We were at Epcot and it had been pouring rain all day. Mostly we'd just been hanging out under a pavilion. Finally, we decided to head back when it slacked up, but being Florida, it started pouring again. Ducked into the Mexican restaurant there to wait it out and get dinner. Asked the hostess for a table for 3. "I'm sorry, we're on reservations only tonight." "Okay, fine." I pulled out my phone and checked their website. Sure enough, they had a reservation open for that time. Quickly made the reservation, looked at the hostess and said, "Yes, reservation for 3, name of Sparkstalker." She just glared at me while I smiled like an idiot. My dad went to Walmart with my little brother to return a video game. The game was open, so they said he could only exchange the game for the same one. He says, "Okay," and gets a new unopened video game. He then, with game in hand, looks at the same person and says, "I'd like to return this game, please." They actually let him do it. You know, of all the places that deserve to be gamed by multiple people repeatedly, Walmart is definitely up there. Let them have it. Back in middle school and high school, I was busted at home for looking at adult flicks. My parents had the MSN browser and internet service at the time. Their response was to ground me and change the password to get on the MSN account. This is during the years of dial-up. I discovered that I could type in any random digits into the password space to allow MSN to start the dial-up process and then minimize the window. The computer would connect to the internet, but not the MSN account. I would then open Internet Explorer and browse to my heart and hand's content, erase the internet history, and they were none the wiser. When Radio Shack had open locations nearby, I'd buy cheap $8 to $10 earbuds, and later cheap $10 to $20 pairs of over-ear headphones and get a warranty on them. Whether it was the quality of the stuff or me being an idiot, these would never last me more than a month or two, so I'd go back, buy the same pair for a huge discount thanks to the warranty, and put a new warranty on those. Repeat, get $2 to $3 sets of earbuds and headphones forever. Or at least until all the Radio Shacks near me closed down. I guess this is kind of a loophole? One of my proudest moments nonetheless. In the final semester of my senior year in high school, I decided to take a class called Physics 2. I liked the first physics class I took. I thought this would be a fun class to go out on. Wrong. It was basically AP Physics. I was in way over my head. It's just that physics was a subject I couldn't easily understand. I failed a lot of tests. At the end of the semester, I had a D- going into the final. I'm freaking out at this point, thinking that my college acceptance is going to be pulled. Our final project is about buoyancy. The task is to build a boat that could support you and your partner out of nothing but cardboard, glue, and 20 feet of duct tape. If you could paddle to the end of a pool and back with you and your partner in the boat, you get an A on that aspect of the project. Great! Then my teacher made the mistake of offering extra incentive. For every length of the pool you could go beyond that without sinking, you'd get 40 extra credit points. Extra credit was my only hope. We went out and found the sturdiest cardboard we could find. We carefully folded, glued, and cut the cardboard into a canoe-type boat. It looked great. The day finally came, my entire class brought their boats out and we started. Most people made it to the end of the pool before their boats started to disintegrate. One group made it back and forth 13 times before they sank. Whoa! We were the very last team. We go in and start paddling. We make it to the end and paddle back. Then out and back again, and again, and again. We crossed the pool 60 times before our teacher made us stop. We didn't sink, and we both earned 2,400 extra credit points. I went from a D- to an A on the very last final I ever had in school. True story and one of my greatest days. When I was in high school, we figured out that we could use the Hooked on Phonics automated toll-free number to make free phone calls from payphones. We would dial 1-800-ABC-DEFG, and once prompted we would enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 times. The calls would then drop and we would get a dial tone, and then could call anyone we wanted to. Probably saved a good $4.75 with that one. Several years back, McDonald's started offering free Big Macs if you went online and completed a survey. At the end of the survey, the site would give you a coupon code, write the code onto the receipt, and the receipt becomes a coupon for a free Big Mac. A few years ago, I made 2 back-to-back purchases, thus getting 2 receipts. After completing both surveys, I was given the same coupon code for both receipts, and both of them worked at the register. I got 2 free Big Macs. Over time and with some casual experimentation, I realized that the coupon codes didn't seem to expire. I started saving a few bucks by finding discarded McDonald's receipts on the ground, writing the code on it, and getting a free Big Mac. It's been about 3 years since I made this discovery, and the coupon code still works. I haven't paid for a Big Mac in 3 years. Walgreens was running a deal on a blood sugar monitor that was originally $19.99. They had a weekly deal where it dropped down to $9.99, plus you got 2,000 points free on your balance reward card. I found a coupon for that exact meter which got me $10 off, so the meter became free. Plus I got $2 in balance points. I have about 20 meters sitting in my house that will be going to a lower income clinic where people who need it but can't afford it will benefit the most from it. This site that delivers pretty good quality frozen food had a really good temporary sign-up deal. Put $50 of food in your cart, sign up with a new account, and they'd take $30 off plus free shipping. This stacked with the current deals like 4 packages of filled pasta for $5 and massive frick-off chocolate cake plus liter of ice cream plus raspberries for $20. I've moved out of home but only 5 to 10 minutes away from my parents. Either the place didn't notice or didn't care that the same credit card placed 2 orders for 2 different names and addresses. That cake was great. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, or if you want some vibey music to put on in the background, check out easymode. If you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot. Everything linked in the description.